The Seattle Police Department is in the throes of a severe staffing shortage tonight. We're told a crisis that has only been worsening since the mayor's vaccine mandate deadline for officers less than 2 months ago.
We've seen that list explode since the riots due to a lot of the injuries of people not being able to get surgeries scheduled on time because of the pandemic and a number of factors, the political environment we're in. And, it's created a situation in our community that we don't have enough cops, period.
Let's begin tonight's lightning round right there. That quote is from KTTH Seattle talk radio host Jason Rantz show. Good to have you back, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what do we know about the staffing numbers tonight, the shortages, how they're dealing with it?
You have 165 officers on what's known as the HR unavailable list. These are basically officers to be deployed. And to get on this list to begin with, you have to have been out for 14 days. Now, many of the officers end up on this list, and it's not really reported all that widely, when they're burning their accrued vacation time. They're doing that generally ahead of separating from the force. Now, at the same time, you've got every single precinct in every single watch on every day this month needing to augment its patrol shifts with volunteers either taking overtime or coming from these non-patrol units. So they're not normally out on the streets responding to 911 calls, but the crisis is so dire that they have to do it. Right now, you have 888 deployable police officers in a city of this size that's going through a crime surge. And what that ends up meaning is, let's say there were, God forbid, a public safety emergency. Well, if it's big enough, you're going to get all the officers from all across the city basically to respond, which of course leaves those communities they're no longer responding to vulnerable to even more crime. So we are really close to a nightmare scenario. And at this point, the only thing that's preventing that is sheer luck that we haven't had some kind of major public safety issue.
Yeah, and it's not good if the bad guys know that. Those are just the facts on the ground. Okay, now I want to ask you about this. The New York Post reporting that woke warriors are trying to cancel Christmas classics. They say our Christmas movies are bad. We shouldn't be watching them anymore. It's a Wonderful Life, Frank Capra's classic, has been targeted because some people think Jimmy Stewart's character was misogynistic. The Holiday, Jack Black's Miles, described as a, quote, dangerous sociopath who displayed toxic masculinity. I loved him and that movie, sorry. The Santa Claus, the 1994 blockbuster, has been railed as fat-phobic. Jingle All the Way, too pro-capitalist. And Love Actually says he's a creepy blank who's in love with his best friend's wife of one of the characters. It's a no for me, that one person tweeted. Well, are any of your favorites on the list? And will you stop watching them?
Well, let's be clear. The only thing offensive here, woke or not, is thinking, and I believe actually you hold this position, and you know I love you, but Die Hard is not the best Christmas movie. Love Actually is in reality the best Christmas movie. This is all an exercise in victimhood. To be clear, no one is offended by Christmas. No one is offended by Christmas movies or TV shows or songs or anything. They are pretending to be offended because it allows them to play both victim and hero. They're victim of some slight that they're pretending is against them, and they're a hero for speaking up against it. This is narcissism in action to basically justify some overwrought social media post they end up writing about their fight for tolerance. It's all contrived.
All right, we'll put you down for not buying it, and we'll still watch all the movies. And we also have this, a headline out of California. Several large school districts there are going to say that teachers cannot give D or F grades anymore. Proponents say, from the Daily Mail, it will particularly help Black, Latino, and lower-income students who have statistically been disproportionately affected by pandemic upheaval to school routines. Quick final word from you on no Ds and Fs.
It's very clearly racist. It assumes that Black and Latino kids can't learn the material, but it also shows that kids don't have to worry about any consequences for failures, which I think makes kids rather soft. It gives off this expectation that they're always going to get endless chances, which weirdly is also the Democratic mayor or prosecutor position when it comes to crime. I think we need to start rejecting this stuff. It is okay to fail so long as you're learning from it. So rather than just getting rid of the D's and F's, how about this? We work just a little bit harder to get to the students who aren't learning the material the way that you'd like them to, put in some effort, and stop accepting mediocrity. I don't think that they're best served when they get into the real world.
Yeah, because your boss is not going to clear you if something fails. And listen, my mama was a teacher. If I had shown up with a D or an F, I would have been unable to be seated for a number of days. That's probably, that's outlawed also now, too. All right, Jason Rantz, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.